We've got to have money.
So, I see you've been catching on to my merchandise scheme, Sonic.
More like self-indulgence scheme. What are you trying to pull off this time, Eggman?
Well, if you've seen Toy Story 5, my plan is to distribute my new brand of iPads. But I'm going to call them Lily Pads to avoid copyright trouble with Apple.
I once said no copyright law in the universe would stop me. You seem timid by comparison, Eggman.
Copyright trouble or not, once my brand of lily pads reaches the entire world, all the children and all the adults will have no choice but to worship me 24/7 by being addicted to their screens due to their own incompetence.
I'm all for being active, but you've really crossed the line this time, Eggman.
Mommy let you use her iPad. You were barely two.
So, that was Toy Story 5. Literally just walked out the cinema as of this recording. Well, what is there to say? Summer event.
The overall takeaway from Toy Story 5 is that it's not terrible, but it's not exactly great either.
They even got dressed for the occasion. Literally, one of the people selling tickets is dressed up as Bo Peep. Rather charming, I must say. I have two things I need to get out of my chest. Number one, how on ever-loving Earth can a potty machine send emails? How? Second thing I need to get out of my chest. Buzz is in a kilt! Scotland! And now, to get another critique out of the way, there really was no point in bringing Woody back. There, I said it. I know, it's cruel to say, but he really played little to no role in the main narrative. I'm sorry. Woody's character arc, if you will, already ended in Toy Story 4. Oh yeah, that's right. Do you guys remember when I made a video about Toy Story 4? Remember how I described Toy Story 4 as a rather somewhat fitting epilogue to the Toy Story series, now that it's given a sense of conclusion? Boy, has that video of mine aged poorly!
From what I've seen so far, especially with how embarrassingly outdated Toy Story 4 is now, Toy Story 4 and 5 honestly would have been better off as being a whole season's worth of shorts, but more likely 2 different seasons worth of shorts. They could have made an entire television series, premiered it on some kind of Disney Channel or put it on Disney Plus or something. It would be well regarded for its high quality graphics. You know, the Toy Story franchise has done that sort of thing before. They made plenty of short films prior to Toy Story 4 and 5, which was set after the events of Toy Story 3. I see no reason why they couldn't just cut the majority of Toy Story 4 and Toy Story 5 into different television series slots. But of course, Hollywood needs to make the moolah, the money, at the expense of narrative integrity.
Anyway, I should probably describe Toy Story 5 to you before, you know, the inevitable Toy Story 6 gets made. And then Toy Story 7, then 8, then 9, then 10. There's really no end to the series in sight. It really is Pixar's equivalent of the Fast and the Furious now, which is strange to say because the Toy Story series has more sequels than their Cars franchise. Oh my days, imagine Vin Diesel in the car franchise. What's this movie aimed for? Family. So the premise of Toy Story 5 is that Bonnie is a growing lassie, and there's peer pressure to keep up with the trending tech and screen addiction in order to keep up with superficial friends. So, thinking it'll do her good, Bonnie's parents buy her a Lily Pad iPad. Lily iPad, whatever it's called. They're obviously trying to avoid plagiarism of Apple. All the other toys realize that this excessive screen addiction that's preventing her from living in the present is not good for her. So they combat against the rise of tech even after all the warnings that supposedly the age of toys is over. Over their ragdoll bodies, am I right? So, through the usual toy-caused hijinks, we get to see several things at play. Jesse and the toys do everything they can to get Bonnie back to playing with the toys again. Woody contributes little to nothing other than a poncho and a running gag about male pattern baldness. Hey, I can relate.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
But as the hijinks ensue, Jessie finds herself facing the ghosts of her past. Alright, so let's get another elephant out of the room. Yeah, Jessie is the main character. They probably should have put a bit more emphasis on that in the marketing because, again, despite all the emphasis on Woody returning, Woody has little to nothing to contribute to the main narrative. Aside from a few emotional beats in regards to Woody's friendship with Buzz and Jessie and whatnot, Pixar could have easily just removed Woody from this movie and it wouldn't have changed much. On the bright side, at least Jessie has more active participation in the narrative compared to Toy Story 4.
When you look back at the major story beats of 4 and 5, there's a lot of concerning things that Pixar could have gone over, but they didn't because they were too focused on sentimentality rather than narrative cohesion. For example, have you noticed how horrible Bonnie's parents are? And in Toy Story 5, if Woody and Buzz, especially Woody, have their roles condensed to glorified cameos, then what's the point in even marketing them as major players? Oh, that's right, just for nostalgia baits. Okay, so Jessie can have her own movie where she's confronting the ghosts of her past and reconciling with what happened to her. Okay, good for her, great. It's probably one of the best aspects of the movie for Jessie to catch up with her past. Others out there who would say that this probably wasn't needed. I mean, I appreciated the emotional moment.
Alright, but enough about Woody. What about the rest of the movie? I've heard some say it's worse than 4, others say it's better than 4. All I know for certain now is that Toy Story 4 is embarrassingly outdated due to the decision of making Woody return, which they should not have committed to in Toy Story 5, if you ask me. If I can say something that everyone can agree on, everyone can agree that Toy Story 4 and 5 just does not live up to Toy Story 1, 2, and 3. Look, I'm sorry, in this regard, there hasn't been much that Toy Story 4 and 5 has done to surpass the quality of Toy Story 1, 2, and 3. Sure, the animation quality has clearly shown growth over time, and the animation quality is still amazing in Toy Story 5. But it sadly just doesn't have much substance compared to the original trilogy. The original movie trilogy of Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 is not only a full story, but honestly, just one of the greatest movie trilogies ever made. So, because of that, it's not going to surprise me that many people on the internet are going to be absolutely ticked off at the mere existence of Toy Story 5. And there's going to be a lot to complain about, believe me. There's a lot to complain about. But, to be fair, Toy Story 5 is not without its merits. Even if it doesn't fully accomplish said merits compared to the original trilogy, it's still merits worth pointing out. From this point forward, I'm going to assume you've seen the movie or that you just don't care about major spoilers. So, spoiler alert. I thought the plotline regarding that whole group of Buzz Lightyears was actually quite a creative premise. Yeah, toys ending up getting shipwrecked all because a delivery ship got involved in an accident. That's quite a creative premise, actually. Honestly, there's a lot of potential for an online multiplayer adaptation of that subplot, if you ask me. And yeah, this movie does lean a lot on nostalgia baiting in order to justify its own existence. But with that said, having Jessie confront her past and finding out what happened to Emily, especially the scene where she ventures out to the tree where she got on the swing and she uncovers the box that Emily had buried. It's very reminiscent of that one scene from the Shawshank Redemption, and what she finds inside, I personally found emotionally satisfying. I mean, the overall film's a bit of a mixed bag. Now, in many ways, I can understand why Pixar wanted to make this movie. They wanted to give commentary about the damage that excessive screen time and social media can have on people, especially at such a young, influential age. The pressure to grow up far quicker than you actually can. The lack of authentic connection that can come from people being too busy on their screens and not being present. Believe me, I have been with people who have this condition. It's rather haunting how such people did not communicate with me even though they were staying over with me. It's pretty messed up. Which in some ways makes Bonnie's growth as a character all the more meaningful. I was so happy for her when she managed to make an authentic friend in the end of the movie. Now, ideally, the film could have had some more time to make the message more nuanced in the fact that there are some other kids playing with toys in the neighborhoods, perhaps. And in all fairness, it does make sense that Blaze would be more open to authentic connections given how she's living out in the farm, which demands you live an authentic life. Blaze is a good friend for Bonnie. With that said plot does rely on conveniences, contrivances, and plot holes in order for this plot to get going. Like I said by the beginning of the video, how on earth does a potty machine have the capacities to send emails? Like, how? Especially with such limited buttons. At the end of the day, it is quite intriguing that this movie says technology can be used for good, just don't use it in excess.
4 and 5 did not need to be made as mainstream movies. They were better off as television series episodes that were set after 3. And about that humor, got a few chuckles here and there, and there were some moments that legitimately made me laugh, but it did not make me laugh nearly as hard as I did with the original trilogy. Maybe I'm getting nostalgically sentimental. All I know for sure is that Toy Story 4 and 5 doesn't really hold up to scrutiny in hindsight. So, I'm gonna give Toy Story 4 and 5 6.5 out of 12. They're both fine films. Yeah, I had to update my input on Toy Story 4 because Toy Story 5's existence undermines the whole point of Toy Story 4. Yeah, at the end of Toy Story 5, Woody does go back to the lifestyle that he chose at the end of Toy Story 4, but that raises further questions in regards to the attention spans of Bonnie's parents, and I'm not gonna get mad at you for seeing Toy Story 4 and 5, but the Toy Story film franchise should have ended at 3.
Jesse.